Greetings. My name is Greg Marks, or as many of you in the online world know me, Culture of One. For those who aren't entirely aware of my background, I'm a musician. I'm based in the wonderful, sunny world of St. John, New Brunswick. That is Canada's oldest incorporated city. I make my living as a professional musician, music teacher, arranger, and instrument repairman. The problem is, although I know Sugru's theme is the future needs fixing, the fact of the matter is the past needs fixing too. Older instruments, such as this lovely old C melody, were designed with a very different concept of ergonomics. In fact, the word was well in its infancy at that stage. 20 years ago when I started playing, this wasn't a big issue for me. And then I fell and stretched the tendons in both of my forearms and injured myself to the point where playing older instruments like this old beauty were rather uncomfortable. So I hummed and hawed for many years and looked for ways that I could modify the instruments, and most of them were fairly temporary modifications. I actually started off with this lovely old 1936 Selmer balanced action tenor and took the little tiny thumb hook which fits in around here and coated it with two wonderful packets of Sugru. This has now been on my instrument for, I'd say, close to 2.5, 3 years now. I continued on and expanded and built out the thumb posture on the instrument so that I didn't have this little wee teeny tiny pearl digging into the back of my thumb causing nerve damage and such. And this instrument has become far more comfortable and usable as a result. It became a part of my repair studio as well. When I'd get in an older instrument or I'd have a student who would have comfort problems with their instrument, using Sugru to modify the instrument was the logical way of repairing an instrument after a fashion. I went on from there to do modifications to mouthpiece baffles, little temporary pieces that slip into the mouthpiece to change the tonal quality of the instrument. Experimented with making mutes for trumpets, so here we can see black and orange Sugru that's been placed around the base of the mute so that it will fit snugly into the bell of the instrument without choking off all the air. What can I say? I'm an improviser. And I don't just mean that musically. I mean, a lot of people, when they think of improvisation, they think of music and they think of comedy, which clearly are both very near and dear to my heart. But improvisation goes beyond that. Improvisation is about having a rock and needing a hammer. Improvisation is 5 days in the woods and realizing you've forgotten to pack any toilet paper. Improvisation is at its core about making do with what you have. And sometimes, let's face it, what you have isn't a perfect solution. The beauty of Sugru is it makes it possible to take those rough ideas and make them into a really beautiful solution that is functional and aesthetically pleasing. And easy to do. My background in improvisation is something that's passed on to me by my parents. And God bless my parents, they had been raised by people who lived through the Depression and understood how to scrimp and save and reuse everything. They were masters of improvisation. They could find objects around them and immediately envision new purposes for it. And they raised me with a wonderful sense of imagination, the ability to look at an object and see more than just its original purpose, to see a possible new use for it that satisfied my needs. The other side effect, of course, of Sugru is because it's so much like working with clay. Every time I open a pack of Sugru, I'm a little child playing with Play-Doh again. It creates a wonderful sense of mystery and wonder and that reminiscence of what it is to be a child and see the world entirely through a lens of imagination. And suddenly all these possibilities of what I can do they magically appear in front of me. What can I say? The future needs fixing. Bye for now. Thanks.